had started on an aspect of the description given by various people that were in the house, in particular regarding accused number 2. And that description is contained in the statements that they made on the 27th of October 2014. And for some of them, they are viva voce testimony also in this court regarding that description.
Yes, my lord.
Kuyiqiniso-ke ukuthi-ke ubuza-ke izolo mayelana-ke nendlela ofakazi noma abantu-ke abathi babona ngalelo langa abe bechaza ngayo-ke bechaza yena-ke msolo wesibili kuyitatimende noma-ke bekhuluma-ke ngazo i-27 zika-October 2014. Yebo kuyiqiniso.
Now, yesterday I had started on the evidence of Nthabise Mokete, and I had paraphrased some of her evidence and invited you to comment, but I'd like to start today with a proper premise by not paraphrasing, but by reading from the transcript of her evidence and invite you to comment. And the evidence is contained in the transcript of the 26th of July 2023, and I'd start at page 25, which Advocate Baloyi says, yes, you may proceed, and Ms. Mokete. Now, there was a stage where there was a sound, a loud noise that sounded like a gunshot sound, a bang sound, like that of a firearm, whilst we were still in the car like that. Now I got shot. I then said to her that it is the sound of a firearm or a firearm that is being discharged. And Mrs. Mokete here, she's referring to Yolanda Nota that she was with in the car at the time. Should I proceed? Or you don't have your... Okay. Mr. Jones, they are printing it for you. And then Advocate Baloyi says, if you said to her, who are you referring to? Mrs. Mokete, I'm referring to Yolanda Nota. Advocate Baloyi, yes. And then Mrs. Mokete, now there was a person that passed or walked past at the time that I was saying to her that it is a sound of a gunshot. This particular person, as he or she was passing, that he or she went past running. In fact, he was running as he was passing where we were. Then Advocate Baloyi, you say he or she. Did you see whether it was a male person or a female person? Miss Mokete, he looked like a male being. He had a pair of pants, lean built in terms of the physique. Advocate Baloyi, now from which direction to which direction was this person running past? Miss Mokete, now when I saw this person, the person had already passed the vehicle and he was running towards the park.
Must I comment?
Yes, because the comment that I want to invite, yesterday you gave, when I gave this, like I said, it was not quoting verbatim. You then responded by saying, yes, this lends credibility to one of the confessional statements of accused number 2, because he had said that he ran away after the first shot was fired. And by then we were referring to a person with dreadlocks. So my question was that, are you saying that the person that ran out at the time with dreadlocks was accused number 2?
Yes, but my comment insofar as yesterday is concerned, my lord, was in reference to the statement made by her, not her testimony before court, because I wasn't here.
Uma bengibuza bengiphendula ke izolo mayelana nomuntu ke okuthiwa uyena ke waqala waphuma ke futhi egijima bekumayelana ke nestatement statement sakhe hayi mayelana nobufakazi ke abethulile la enkantolo ngoba ke ngenkathi yena sikhuluma ngaye ke uMthabiseni Mokete ngenkathi ethola ubufakazi bakhe ke la enkantolo mina ngangingekho.
And the second question will be, the person that is described by Ms. Mokete after the firing of the first shot, he says it's a lean or slim person in physique. And importantly, she did not know where this person was running from because as she looked, the person had already passed the car that she was in. Do you want to comment on that?
My lord, again, I was not before court. I can only comment insofar as what is contained in the statement. So it's a difficult situation to.
Okunye futhi ke akushiwo ke kubufakazi bakhe noma kushoyo ke yena ke uMiss Nthabiseni Mokete Mokete ukuthi ke uma esembona ke lo muntu umbone esendlulile emotweni umsho ukuthi ke akamazi ukuthi waye qhamuka ngakuphi noma ke ephuma kuphi khona ungakusho kulokho. Cha ngoba ke ngangingekho nkathi ke ethula ubufakazi mina ke engikushoyo ngikhuluma mayelana nestatement sakhe hayi ukuthi yini ayisho la enkantolo.
But you wouldn't have any reason to dispute her testimony that she did not see where the first person ran away from after the first shot was fired.
I will not dispute her testimony if that was put before court because I was not here, my lord. That's the essence of what I'm saying.
Uma ukuthi ke ngathi ela enkantolo wathi uma lo muntu lo oqala ke noma lo muntu ke ngathi ke kusho noma isibhamu sikhuma oqala ukuthi wayebaleka ephuma kuphi akukho ke ngakusho ngeke ngikuphikise ngoba ke kwakubufakazi bakhe futhi ngangingekho la enkantolo.
And at page 26 of the same transcript of the 26th of July 2023, it will be at line around line 17. Ms. Mokete says, as we were busy arguing with each other like that, there was another sound of a firearm that is being discharged. And Advocate Baloy says, now this second sound of a firearm that is being discharged, it sounded as though it was now close to the vehicle. The sound was closer to the vehicle. And it says, Advocate Baloy, I presume that the person that was talking that the sound is closer to the vehicle is Ms. Mokete, but they wrote Mr. Baloy. And below Mr. Baloy says, yes, you may proceed, Ms. Mokete. Now, after that sound, the people that passed running towards the park in the same direction that the first person who passed running to. And Advocate Baloy, I won't read that. We go to line 15. Mrs. Mokete says, now, as she opened the door, mind you, the people that we have already seen had run down the street. Then there was a third gun sound. Now, as she opened the door, I also tried to open the door because now the gunshot went for the third time.
We are both looking at the
Page 27, line
we are on 26.
6, 8, line 18. The way it says, now this second shot, let's go down. Yes. Yeah, that's one. Now, after that sound, two people passed running towards the park in the same direction that the first person who had passed running.
Indeed.
Madam, just before Brigadier Gininda comments, we've allowed this cross-examination to continue. But the court will recall that at some point, I think it was Advocate Nisi objected to Brigadier Gininda giving an opinion and said he's usurping the function of the court. Now, here's evidence that is before court. Now, Brigadier Gininda is now invited to comment as to who is the person that is being referred to here. It's our submission that once evidence is before court, it's now for the parties to argue on the probabilities as to who the person is that is being referred to here. It cannot be left to the witness to then give an opinion as to who is the person that is being referred to here. At the end of the case, based on all the evidence that would have been tendered, based on the probabilities and probabilities, it will be for us to argue as to who, in all probability, is the person that is being described here. It cannot be left to the witness or not to give an opinion on that.
Le mbuzo-ke ebuzwayo-ke manje bekuke kwanenkinga-ke ngaphambilini la khona-ke u-advocate Mnisi ashilo-ke ukuthi-ke akusiyena-ke ufakazi onganikeza uvo noma asho-ke ukuthi ucabangani ngento eshiwo omunye ufakazi. Kodwa-ke manje ngale mibuzwayo ebuzwayo-ke la kukhulunywa-ke ngabantu noma umuntu owayegijima-ke eya ngasepark, akukwazeki-ke ukuthi-ke kungalindeleka ukuthi kube ufakazi onikeza ngalo lovo. Kodwa-ke ngaphambilini bekunenkinga-ke uma bekunombuzo okanjalo.
As the court pleases, my lord, let me skip this part and go directly to what I said my purpose was. I was just giving the background of the sequence as testified by Ms. Mokete. But the main point that I wanted to come to is on page 26, she has already given a description of the first person that ran away past the car after the first shot, that he was lean in physique. Now the descriptor of the two other persons that ran thereafter, it's contained on page 34, and that's the sole reason why I embarked on this exercise, my lord. Not even so, sorry, I think I made you print the whole page. It's not page 34. Sorry, my lord, it's not on page 34. It's from page 45 to page 46 of the record of the 2607-2023, my lord. And that reference will be at line 15 of page 45. And it is Advocate Baloy saying, you mentioned that the first person was a shot that rang off and a person ran past, and you described the person, you mentioned that the second shot that rang off and two persons ran past towards the park. Are you able to describe those two persons? And Ms. Mokete says, no, I remember the very first person that ran past was tall, he was not short, also with a leaner physique or a slimmer physique. And then Mr. Bolis asked, is that the first person who ran past alone? And Ms. Mokete, the very first one who ran past alone. Yes, and the other two, Ms. Mokete, one of them was not, big in terms of the physique. He was neither lean as well. He was of average height, and I remember that he had dreadlocks. And at line 17, Ms. Mokete stated that now this other one who was slightly bigger in physique, they did not outrun each other. They almost ran side by side, even though there was, and with a demonstration of fingers and in brackets written, that there was one that was a little in front of the other, and the very one with the bigger physique had a hoodie on his head, and with that head as well, he was taller. He was taller than the other two that I have already referred to. And he was asked by Mr. Baloy, yes, any other description that you can give, Ms. Mokete, There is no other description that I can give. So essentially, the person that she described as wearing a hoodie is one of a bigger physique, not one of a thinner physique, according to her testimony here. And then she goes on to say, and with that head as well, he was taller than the other two that I have already referred to.
My lord, my comment can only, as I've said, I think yesterday, can be perhaps twofolded. One, that the three suspects that Ms. Tabsing saw is corroborated in the confession of accused one, accused two, in that he says he ran away after I think one and second shot were fired in the house. He went out. He then refers to accused four. He leaves accused three inside according to the confession, and then accused four goes inside. So when he ran out to the car, that is according to the confession, my lord, he was running alone. And this is corroborated by this Ntabiseng, my lord. Thereafter, the second two people that Ntabiseng is referring to, my lord, identifies one person with dreadlocks whom it is alleged, my lord, or the investigation pointed that the accused three, in terms of the investigation, is the person with dreadlocks on that specific day. Now, what we do not have, my lord, in the investigation is what accused four was wearing. The fact that the second suspect is described in the second grouping now as having a hoodie does not necessarily mean it's not accused four, because including accused number one and accused number five, we can place them where they were, but we can't say, I don't have evidence to indicate what type of clothing was accused number four wearing on that specific day.
Lana ke uma echaza ke uNtabiseng uyasho ke ukuthi ke umuntu amshoyo owaye gqoke ke ihoodie uma emchaza ke ngomzimba uthi umuntu ke owayemkhulu ke ngomzimba engasiyena ke umuntu owayemncane, futhi manje wena ke uthini ke uphendula lapha. Lokho ke kuyahambiselana nento ebhaliwe kusona istatement sakhe ke umsolo wesibili ungathi ke egonyuluka ushilo ke ukuthi uma isibhamu siqhuma okokuqala waphuma ke yena wabaleka washiya ke ngaphakathi umsolwa wesithathu futhi ke nophenyo liyasho ke ngoba ke uma sechazwa abantu ke laba besibili abaphumayo ke omunye uyachazwa ke ukuthi wayena dreadlocks. Uphenyo lothilo esalenza lukhomba ke ukuthi umsolo wesithathu yena owayena dreadlocks. Ushilo ke nokuthi futhi ke uma esemshiya ke umsolo wesithathu ke ila khona ke umsolo wesine esengena ngaphakathi ke manje uma ekhuluma ke abantu ababili abalandela kamuva uNtabiseng, lokho kuyahambisana ke naso istatement sakhe umsolo wesibili ukuthi ke uma sephuma ke manje kwaphuma kulandela umsolo wesithathu kanye ke nowesine ukuthi amchaze ke lo kulabo ababili ukuthi wayegqoke ihoodie. Anginabo ubufakazi, yebo ngiyazi ukuthi wayekhona ke lapho bese indaweni zabo. Umsolo wesine anginabo ubufakazi ukuthi wayegqokeni ngokufanayo naye umsolo wokuqala ukuthi wayegqokeni nomsolo wesihlanu.
The only description of the alleged suspects, my lord, that is given by the witnesses is insofar as the person with the dreadlocks, where they describe the khaki or brownish jacket, Mr. Makeleni, I think we dealt with him, who identified or assisted rather in the identikit of the second suspect, where he described the black hoodie, which is corroborated by Mr. Zung. So those are the recollection of the description in terms of the clothing that I recall. I don't recall having evidence that points to what exactly accused four was wearing, my lord.
Futhi ke lana esinabo ke noma ke ubufakazi ke esinabo ke okumala nokuthi ke kwagqokweni yini ke egqokiwe lapho ukuthi ke yena ke uMr Makeleni owalekelela ke nowasiza ke ngokuthi kudwetshwe le identikit mayelana ke nalo owayegqoke ihoodie kanye futhi ke naye ke uZungu owayekhuluma ke ngayo ihoodie eyinyama, kodwa ke ukuthi umsolo wesine wayegqokeni anginabo lokho bufakazi lo.
So that's how I could comment on that part, man.
Ilakho ke ngakusho ke mayelana nalo.
Family, let me talk about what RAMOSEPELE did in court when Baloyi objected to his line of questioning. I was not happy when RAMOSEPELE skipped that question because Baloyi has objected. Because Baloyi was smart than Ramsipili. He realized that he was confining Brigadier Gininda in a rabbit hole whereby he cannot move. Because, when Gininda is being confronted or squeezed about the scene of crime, exactly what happened in the scene of crime, he stumbles. He's hard to answer the questions according to the witnesses who were eyewitnesses, who came in court and said whatever they said. Because whatever statement Brigadier took from those witnesses, he was the one who was writing the statement. So whatever he uttered in that statement, he is sticking on that line. You could even hear him when they confront him with what the witness said in court and what is in the statement. He seems to differ. He goes with what is in the statement. He doesn't want to answer because he's confined and he's being squeezed. You see what Ramosepele did? He squeezed this guy in a rabbit hole whereby there was no chance of squeezing out or maneuvering in that rabbit hole. Then they come Baloyi to rescue him by objecting to the line of question of Ramosepele. Ramosepele was in the right trend. He was asking relevant questions that were putting his client in the spotlight that this guy was not there. But then Ramosepele immediately, Baloyi objected to that line of question. Then Ramosepele decided to skip that question and go wherever he wanted to go. It was wrong. Okay, let's forget about that one. Let's come to this one. I'm not hearing Ramosepele because we understand there was Longwe Twala. Because when you see, Ramosepele is not constructing properly the scene of crime in his line of question. Because Ramosepele has to stick on the eyewitnesses and stick on the people who were in the house. Why I say this? I say this because there was Longwe who ran out of the car, but who ran out of the house. He was the first one to run out of the house, according to these statements that they have now. But when we remember before, there was a Khumalo. It was a Khumalo who ran also outside to the Ngashe home. But now it's not coming in this judge. It came out in that other judge was in there. Okay, let's forget about that one too. Ramosepele, what he is supposed to do to rescue his client, he is supposed to stick on Longwe. Fine, there are people who have, they are saying there are people who ran out, and this lady, what is her name? It's Mtabiseng, who was sitting in the car with Yolanda. They saw somebody going down the street. They didn't see that person where he alighted from, where he came from, whether he came from the Khumalo home or whether he came from somewhere. They are not sure. And they were not sure whether he was a man or he was a that was a girl. But she was contemplating with that, if it was a girl or a man. But anyway, that one, let's just forget about that one. Where Ramosepele has to stick, if anybody who has Ramosepele, I know Bongane has Ramosepele's number. If he can call Ramosepele when he go back on Monday and try to stick to Longwe, ask Gininda, we understand. Did you take statement from Longwe? What happened about Longwe? Because Longwe was driving when he came there. Where did he park his car? When he alighted from the house after the first gunshot, or after he realized that the intruder had a gun in his hand, that revolver, he decided to run out of the house. Where did he go? Because that is where they will get the case right. They have to stick there. If they don't get answers from that, they don't have to. Ramosepele is not supposed to, because this brigadier is a senior investigator who should have known. Because now they came with a tracker that is tracking Longwe Twala's car. But they're not telling us about Longwe when he left the house. Immediately he ran out of the house. Where did he go? Is it the person Mtabiseng saw running down the street? Was that Longwe? We have to know all those kind of things, because that is where the investigation should have stick if Gininda was really investigating the scene of crime, or the Senzo Meiwa deleting. If he was really investigating the 636 case, that should come out. He should bring that evidence in court and say, fine, Longwe runs out of the house. Where was Longwe's car parked? How did Mtabiseng see Longwe's car come alighting out of the Khumalo home, going down the street or going up the street, wherever, whatever side it was? Where was that car? How did he got into his car? They have to stick on that, because if they stick on that, we will get the answers that there were no intruders that were in the house. Because immediately the defense realized that they have to play around there, because that is what Ngomezulu is doing. He doesn't want to listen to all this evidence of a hostel, of AVL, of Longwe tracking car, the tracker of the car. He is dealing with the scene of crime, what happened in the scene of crime. But Ramosepele is also entertaining the hostel thing. Hostel is not the place whereby Senzo was deleted. That is not the place. Ramosepele should run away from that. That is not the line of question that he has to follow. This kind of Zongo, whatever Zongo told them, they've got nothing to do. They have to deal with the scene of crime. That is what they have to deal with. Because now you are giving a leeway to Gininda, because Gininda has invested his answers on hostel, on AVL, and on outside eyewitnesses, not people were inside the scene of crime. That is where he has invested his line of answering the questions that will be answered. That's how he prepared himself. That's why when we see him being confined in a rabbit hole, when he's being questioned about exactly what happened in the scene of crime, he stumbled in a way that he can't even give. All these terms that he used, they get finished when he's being confronted with the scene of crime. That is where the defense has to stick on. Once the defense stick on in the scene of crime, everything will work out. I wish that can happen. I'm just praying if RAMOSEPELE doesn't do that, the next defense should do that, which is amazing, because it will help to give us the idea as to how many people did Longwe bring with him in the car to come and commit this kind of deleting. That is where we have to go. Not this kind of intruders that they're busy smearing to these other people. Let us understand Longwe first. Leaving the house, you go out of the house, Longwe. Where do you go? Do you go in the car? Who was with you in the car? What happened? That investigation is not coming to light. That is where the investigation has to stick. Not this line of question of hostel. Let's forget about hostel. All this tower and all these kind of things. There's nothing like that. If the intruder came there to take phones, they should have taken Kelly's mother's phone because it was in the counter in the kitchen. And Senzo Meyiwa's phone was found under the cupboards down there. It's only one phone. That has the serious evidence that is missing because they know why they don't show up with that phone. There's no way. Family, what do you think about this? Please drop your comment. Don't forget to like and share. I know Senzo is not sleeping. He is kneeling, praying to all these people who deleted him should be arrested and brought into court and sentenced. Waiting for the right culprits to be apprehended and sent to jail for the longest time. Until his family gets closure, we are not going anywhere in this social media. Bravo, bravo, bravo.